What is happening, Nation's Corner family? I am your host, Tony Justice, with you on another episode of Nation's Corner. And joining me today is a unique cast of characters. We've got down here beside me, running the board tonight, John in South Jersey. How's it going, brother?
What? I got already. It's 2 minutes into the show. Questions. Well, you got quiet. How about this? How about none you? How about that?
Okay.
It's none you.
All right. Screw you then.
Well, there. Anyway, I'm good. So how are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Hostile.
Doing all right. Yes. he's in Philly. I mean, he's in South Jersey. What do you expect?
Yeah, what of it?
Yeah, see? Anyway, I still love him.
I do too.
So up there in the opposite corner, up above John in my screen, he's muted, but it's Mongrovian Mike. How's it going, brother?
What up?
Should have left them muted.
What's happening?
Not much.
So funny.
The whole show
You
muted.
warned me. I'm not mute now.
And yeah. Okay. And above me, the beautiful, the talented, the fiery, the one, the only Miss Deb Hausen. How you doing, Deb?
I'm great.
Good. So Deb, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I think really the biggest news coming out of this week, so let's get right into it, is that Ric Flair signed with AEW. It was announced that he signed a multi-year deal, I believe, that includes sponsorship of Woo Energy. So I had read that apparently he had pitched to WWE, like he wanted a sponsorship for his energy drink, and WWE already has Logan Paul's energy drink, Prime, as a major sponsor. So they turned him down. So he was free to do whatever he wanted, obviously. And the only thing, okay, I don't want to get into a full-on rant here yet, but
Don't keep bringing up age.
There's already been rumblings of like that some doctor cleared him for in-ring action, and I get, him being there for the last few months of Sting's career. That's great. That's awesome to see. But does anybody really want to see Ric Flair in the ring in any capacity? And who is this doctor that cleared this man?
Dr.
Supposedly. Dr. Vinny Boombatz. Yes, Dr. Vinny Boombatz.
Yeah. He gave Ric Flair 6 months to pay his bill.
That was my first
Couldn't
thought.
pay, gave him 6 more.
All right, before I go on a full-on rant, what are you guys' thoughts about it? Tony?
Well, I kind of want to hear you go on a full-on rant.
I just have a real quick caveat to all this before Deb goes on a full-on rant, because I want to hear it too. Ric Flair inadvertently this week basically revealed his cheat code for all his external ring proclivities.
What? What was that word?
No, not that. Not the Contra one.
John, I love it. You were on it.
Yes. Jesus. You think I'm smart? I'm smart.
He's smart.
I'm smart. I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb like people say. But anyway, he gave away his cheat code for all of his extracurricular activities and stuff over these years. Look what he is selling now: weed, energy drink, and dick pills. Thank you, Elder. There you have it. That's the Ric Flair cheat code. Hey, Space Mountain is truly the oldest ride, the longest line, and you need a little help as you get older. I'm not, but there you go. There's the cheat code. But anyway,
oh my God,
enough of that. Deb, Go
Well,
ahead.
Mongrovian, what's your immediate thoughts?
My immediate thoughts is if we had someone like a Paul Ehrlich here, like a producer, we'd be getting yelled at really bad right now. This show went off the rails before.
Hashtag F Paul.
It was like off the rails before we even got on screen, I think. But anyway,
Yeah, for sure. This must be what Dave feels like when he's on the show with Bully and Mark, and they just start the show and they're laughing for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
you know, because they all know all like the movie line references and they all laugh, and then that's it. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then the young ones there in the show, running the show, like, what are they laughing at? What movie is that from?
Actually, Andre usually gets it. Andre is a cultured man.
Andre rules, man. Andre is the man. Cheers to Andre, man.
Cheers to Andre, the producing giant.
Yeah. Also,
Hey,
another cheers. Cheers to Gabby.
AF
Cheers to
on her
Gabby.
show for Gabby AF. Cheers, Gabby.
That's
Yes.
right. And she had the Nature Boy on there. Cheers, Gabby.
Yes.
Off to a rousing start. The debut
Coming
show
in
was
hot.
very cool.
Right. Coming in hot, Gabby.
Introduced the world to whoever doesn't know about her. Introduced herself, and
She kicked the door down.
First interview with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's got to be nerve-wracking no matter who you are. I mean, Dave probably gets nervous when he knows Ric Flair's coming on, you know.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Neil in there. Ashley, what's up? Jake
What's up?
got Front Row in there. Front Row is on his cruise right now. And
He's on a boat.
Right there.
He's on a boat.
He's on a
He's on a
boat.
boat
He's
in
on
the
a
middle
boat.
in the middle of the ocean, and he's watching Nation's Corner.
In the
So
middle of nowhere.
That's dedication.
That's dedication right there. Seth
He's
in
listening
there.
right now, and
Yeah.
he probably wishes he could dump this show right now with 16,000 feet underneath him.
Yeah. So
Anyhow.
before we get
fun,
to
bud.
Deb's rant,
Shout
I've
out
got
to
some
NFL.
thoughts on Ric Flair. He's a legend, of course. He's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Period. He's done it all. I agree with Deb. I like seeing him come in there and be there for Sting, so Sting can ride off into the sunset. I like that. I don't want to see Ric Flair injure himself, hurt himself, and I don't want to say embarrass himself because that's wrong, but you know what I mean. I don't want to see him go in there and in my opinion, he should have after he wrestled Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 20, what was that, 28?
Something like that. I don't remember.
After that match, that should have been it. In my opinion, it should have been it for him in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
We said the same thing going into Ric Flair's last match. We were talking amongst ourselves. We didn't want to see. We watched the pay-per-view though. It was entertaining and it was tough to watch Ric Flair in the ring trying to wrestle, and to hear the stories coming out of after the aftermath of that, hearing that he passed out during the match twice.
Yeah.
Andrade basically. Andrade basically had to carry him.
Andrade.
Yeah.
Andrade carried that match. He did a great job.
Yeah.
And Lethal, and it was Jeff Jarrett, right?
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, the three of them did an amazing job, taking care of that match and making sure it went off well.
Yeah.
But
it's just I understand that he's born and bred for this business. I understand when it's in your blood, and you can't shake it. You can't get away from it no matter how hard you try. I understand it must be difficult when that's all you know. But come on, I mean, there's got to be a time. There's got to be a time where you have to just say, you know what? I'm still enough's enough. I'm going to be here supporting in the back, Ringside, that's great. You know, it's just. I don't want to say anything disrespectful about Ric Flair, and this is not where this is coming from. This is not in any way, shape, or form meaning disrespect towards Ric Flair, because I love Ric Flair, but there has to be a time to say goodbye to this, professional wrestling, and know your role, as The Rock would say, know your role and do your role. But if it's behind the scenes, then be it behind the scenes. If it's they're supporting Sting ringside, then do that. Don't try to go in there and hurt yourself or injure yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's where I stand on it.
Yeah,
exactly. And I completely agree with you. If it's an ambassador role, he's going to have the sponsorship with Woo Energy. He can represent the company. He's a massive star. Everybody in the freaking world knows who he is. He can represent the company and help promote. And that's great. He can be there for Sting during the last few months of Sting's career. That's great. My thing is, we had the last match pay-per-view, which a lot of legends in the business came, congregated there to be there for it. Undertaker was in the front row. We know that Boley, snuck out into the crowd to watch that match. There were so many people there. It was promoted and really felt like an important event. It felt like a finale. And I think that would be the absolute perfect memory to have as that absolute finale. Even though obviously he, wasn't too capable in the match, I think everything overall still went off pretty well. It was a success. I feel, we know through watching the documentaries and various interviews, we know that Ric Flair, he's different. He, like Mark Henry says, he's different. His brain just operates differently, and he has fully become the Ric Flair that, the showman, the performer. And he is never, ever going to say no to an opportunity. That's just who he is. That's just the way he is. It's the way he's always been. Someone somewhere has to put a stop to it and say, no, we are not allowing you to do this. We love you. We care about you. We cannot sit back and allow you to do this and potentially, hurt yourself or worse.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's just playing. He's got a contract, and he's going to be treated like a legend. If he's in the ring, he's in the ring cutting a promo, and he's got to give someone a chop, or or the old nut somebody, he can still do that, and then put on his figure four if he has to. But although it's always going to be a tag match, he's never going to be there one-on-one with it. He's never going to do that again.
No,
he's not going to do any of the. He's going to get the person in the prone position to get the figure four leg lock.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all anybody wants to see him do. They don't want to see him do anything crazy. But
I have absolutely no desire to see him in the ring at all. First, like, absolutely no disrespect to him. This is not.
He's going to be at the most. He's going to be in a 6-man tag team match.
I don't even want to see that.
No,
I don't want to see him in the ring at all doing anything.
He's going to be,
and I truly mean that as no disrespect, but I do not want to be watching live TV and see something happen to him. I don't.
Well, I agree with that, Deb. I agree with that because at this point, especially coming off the last match, okay, if it wasn't for the fact that the three guys he was in the ring with, Andrade, his son-in-law, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett, that would have been a complete disaster.
Yes.
First
But you're
and
also
foremost.
talking about 3 people who are absolute masters at the craft.
Absolutely.
They're not just normal wrestlers.
Well, no, but the whole thing is
But
do you see that happening in AEW? I don't. I
no.
mean, sure, you could
I
bring
don't really, but
even
And
though
we
you
don't
could
need to
bring all
recreate
no
that
but
match, you know?
Can you see him in one of those 8-man clusterfuck matches?
No,
you're
loves
I
to
don't
crazy.
want to
have?
see that.
No,
No,
I don't want to see it
And
at
then he
all.
gets tagged. Then he gives a couple of woo chops.
no,
Tags
I
back
don't want
out,
to see
and
that
the
at
guy
all.
takes care of it.
No,
No.
if
You know what?
tuning-
A lot of people said the same thing about Sting too, and that mother effer is jumping off a freaking.
Yeah, well,
and
there's a massive difference between Sting and Ric Flair right now.
No. Everybody was worried just the same way.
Yeah, because we didn't know what kind of
Ric
shape
Flair has
Sting was
a lot
in.
more wear and tear partying on his body. I know that. I admit that.
Right.
But you're not going to sit there and tell me that everybody wasn't saying the same bullshit about Ric Flair. They say the same. They probably even thought the same thing about Christian. Oh, can he get back in Edge, Danielson?
Well, those people that say that are stupid.
Look at him. He gets hurt, and everybody's worried that he's done for now. So
I agree.
There's
but
a difference, though.
Well, no one's going to stop them unless it's them. That's the point. We all know how wrestlers are.
And that's the problem. Somebody has to put a stop to it. And somebody needs to say, for your safety, we can't allow this.
And absolutely, I believe Tony Khan will not say no.
That's it. Anyway.
Tony Khan
will not say no. Somebody else has to.
Because Tony Khan's a fan. Tony Khan's an Uber fan.
Right.
Of course he wants to see Ric Flair in the ring one more time. And if you're going to promote a match with Ric Flair in the ring, I'll bet a great amount of the people tuning into it are going to see looking to see one thing simply is, oh my God, is this the time that Ric Flair dies in the ring?
Yeah, no,
exactly.
Not only dies, not literally, but even figuratively. Like, is this just like Todd said? What would this could be? Don't tarnish what you did in the past. What you achieved in the past. Let everybody remember that 92 Rumble where you went the whole hour and you won it with the tear in your eye. Let people remember the I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I love you. Whack.
Yeah.
The evolution. Let people remember all the people that you put over, including Sting.
We don't need to keep reliving the ending of Old Yeller.
I think
we don't keep reliving.
At the end of things, the most someone gets is a chop. He's not going to be in ring performing. Someone's going to get a chop if they get in his fucking face. He still has a pair of ham hocks on him, and he can still throw one good punch. So don't disrespect the Nature Boy. But anyway, he's just going to be a goodwill ambassador for Sting's.
And if that's what it is, I'm perfectly okay with that. That would make me happy to see him there for Sting's final months. That would be great. And I don't think this would even be a conversation if it hadn't been circulating online. Whether it's true or not, I don't necessarily know. But it was circulating online that a doctor cleared him for in-ring action and to take bumps.
But but the evil person inside of me would love to see Tony drive the IWC crazy and the AEW Marks crazy and put the belt on him and have him pin MJF.
Oh God.
I would love to see everyone go crazy. Yeah.
Stop it.
Speaking of doctors and medication, go take yours because you're drifting.
Yeah. You're off your meds, old man.
Lars Sullivan. Oh, Goldberg. Goldberg comes in. And
stop it.
MJF, spears him and puts
somebody needs to come
Ric
get their
Flair
grandpa.
I feel like one of those stoned callers that are calling into Busted Open. I just want to drive everyone crazy. There you go.
Somebody come get grandpa, please.
John, you got to admit that a little evil grin would come over your face when you see those people's heads explode.
Sure. And the thing is, to be 100% honest, Mike, I can see some, man.
And you know what? I bet you Jack Perry's head would explode.
Himself, Tony Khan doing something like that. I could absolutely see Tony Khan doing something like that because he would go,
yes.
Oh, I got an idea. Fuck, I got an
I don't know
idea.
what you did. Now, did you just sneeze or something? Whatever.
There may have been an imaginary white substance involved, but I can literally see straight up out of Scarface where, you know, that one scene where Al Pacino's got his head down and the big pile of coke comes up and clears his nose and he's like, I got an idea. And Tony Khan, absolutely the same thing.
Oh, wow.
No. And okay, that's a whole other topic is if you know Tony Khan is starting to rely on veterans for the pop.
Yeah. And that's been the trend with AEW for a long time. Because I'll keep this brief because I know you three have all heard it and everybody else has for me as well. AEW does not create stars on their own. They don't build. They rely on
Well, they don't have a developmental system.
They don't have a developmental, and to be honest, that's not Tony Khan's forte. Tony Khan is the ultimate fan living the ultimate fan dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, it's been said and quoted, and I 100% agree with it. Tony Khan is somebody with the world's most expensive action figure collection.
Yeah.
Playing with it in his bedroom in his little pretend ring like he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Except these are real people getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. And but he doesn't care. He can make matches. All of us can sit and fantasy book and make matches. Tony Khan is not a promoter. Tony Khan is not a booker.
I absolutely agree.
You know, yes, you get great matches in AEW, but that's it.
Yeah.
I
will say, I do think like as a, you know, and as an AEW fan since day one, I really think that at some point in the hopefully near future, there has to be some way for, you know, Tony Khan to step back into just the financial role that he was originally intended. He was never supposed to be the boss. He was supposed to be the money backer. And he stepped in and became the big boss. Mm-hmm. And there has to be some sort of way for him to take a step back and let other people run the show. Because, you know, there are certainly things in AEW that have been very promising as far as, you know, the stories that have been developing and stuff like that. But overall, it's just, you know, become so obvious that Tony Khan is a detriment to the company because of how he does things like that.
Well, that's but my thing to that, Deb, is he could have done that since day one, or even okay, Cody leaves. All right, there went a big reason why Tony Khan had to step into being, you know, the final say and handling all the booking and everything because Cody left. But in the meantime, Mark Henry, Arn Anderson,
exactly,
Serena Deeb,
Jerry Lynn,
Thunder Rosa, Jerry Lynn. You can't.
There are so many other people that could have formed a team to have like the creative control.
Right. And what do we hear more and more lately? That, you know, all of this very proven and established and experienced talent that are available to the rosters, and no one takes advantage of it. No, why? Because 9 times out of 10 they're too busy trying to get to Tony to get their 2 cents in to get whatever they want to get in, or, you know, match whatever. And, you know, Tony, for lack of a better term, uses the good old boy system. If you're one of Tony's people, aka DMD, you know, he's gonna listen to what you have to say more than anybody else. It's not right, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe she's the devil. She's a couple other expletives I could use, but not the devil. Not the devil.
Well,
but yeah, I think there does have to be something that shifts to be able to kind of take control, so it's not, just Tony Khan making all the decisions,
Well,
because you know,
it's
like it's been talked about so many times before, he's just, you know, fantasy booking and picking out matches that are going to be cool, and the matches are cool. Yeah, they are. But you know, there needs to be those wrestling minds in place. You know, he's not someone who has spent a ton of time in the wrestling business to be able to know, you know, the proper way to write a story or develop a show, or, you know, anything like that. So there needs to be something like, get some of those legends together, or even some of the younger people such as Brian Danielson.
Bree's husband.
Yeah. Yeah, get some of those people together who have, you know, that mind that can collectively lay out the shows.
I think that's going to happen, Deb. I think that's going to happen when it becomes a question of money. AEW has television contracts coming up for renewal. We are all aware that their ratings really have not shown significant growth in over a year. They've kind of plateaued around the number, you know, a little higher, a little lower. And also, you know, we see, as much as people may or may not want to realize, we see the numbers that they're doing for attendance at shows. And that audience has absolutely regressed. Because, and just real quick, a couple of reasons I feel they run the same area. You cannot run Chicago 18 times a year.
Yes.
And expect to keep getting sold out crowds.
Because the people in that market don't have the money to be able to go to all of those shows.
Plus, interchange some of the talents and stuff, but you're basically seeing the same show over and over again. AEW has become very formulaic in that. You know, yes.
And I think, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, real quick, you get Elder's favorite, you know, 8, 10, 15-man car crash match. You're going to see 2 or 3 luchadors jumping all over the building, even out of the rafters. You know, some sort of tag team tornado style match, 1 or 2 singles matches. And don't forget good old 9:23 p.m. every Wednesday night. You get a 6-minute women's match, half of it in picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
And you're going to get five run-ins on 5 different matches.
Yeah, it's very formulaic in that way. So there's nothing even to say if you had someone tuning in for the first time or is a newer fan. What, you know, you're still basically seeing the same show every week. Interchange some of the names and faces, but it's still basically the same show. So there is going to come a point where they're going to have to, especially when we're talking about money, TV contracts and everything else. So, but you know, it's one of the things we're going to have to wait and see what happens. If they showed promise, and they do have a couple of interesting storylines.
Couple of stories going.
You know, the 2 best right now by far is everything going on in and around MJF. And Timeless Tony Storm.
Yes.
Well, and then you have
and the House of Black. The House of Black stuff is good.
Now Sky Blue turned. You thought Sky Blue was gonna
Blue Mist.
Yeah. Sky Blue.
Yes.
Julia Hart. So we got.
And you have Adam Copeland and a Christian. That story too.
Yeah.
So
Adam and Christian. So there is good stories there. I just think like sometimes the continuity isn't quite there. And you know, I think, you know, it was a big complaint with WWE for quite a while that, you know, there would be stories that would start and then it would kind of like fizzle out with no real conclusion. So, you know, there's always room for improvement. I do think as far as the attendance and stuff, not only going to the same markets, but, you know, I think like economic factors definitely have something to do with it. Like if they're going to the same cities, they're just touring around going back to the same cities. Those people in those cities may not, you know, have the money to spend to go to so many shows per year. Like I just know even for us, like we went to AEW the first 2 times they were in Philly. And they just came back to Philly. What was that, a couple weeks ago? And and they hadn't been to Philly in a while. We didn't go just because of finances. And that's obviously, something just specific to us. I just had to buy a car. We just got approved for an apartment. So we have all these, expenses that just came up. So,
That's
it's just
life.
one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life.
Look at you,
it was
Weezy
just,
Jefferson, moving on up.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just
Buggy.
one of those things where we're like, yeah, I don't really want to spend the money to go this time. And so, money's tight for a lot of people out there. So there's a lot
The
of people
beans
that are
won't burn
having
in
to
the
pick and
kitchen
choose which shows they
Mhm.
go to, which events they go to, especially when, a freaking hot dog at the arena is $20.
And did you realize, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, for that $20 you spent at the hot dog for the WWE or AEW show, you can go out and enjoy absolutely wonderful wrestling right up in your face. Support indie wrestling. Support
Yes.
indie wrestlers.
That's the best thing about indie wrestling is, most indie wrestling shows are $20 and $25 for a ticket.
Yeah.
And you go and, they might have a snack stand, or you can go to a restaurant on the way. Like, we went to a cheesesteak place on the way to the last show that we went to. And yeah, you're going to an indie show, you're seeing up and coming stars up close and for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat that.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, one thing, speaking about, kind of, I want to call them TV dinner matches at AEW. They're microwavable because you can just stick a TV dinner in the microwave for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Make sure you perforate that film first, but you stick it in there.
Careful
And there
opening the film.
Yes,
It's
careful
steam burn.
of the
Yeah, that steam is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says
And
so
there
on
you
the
have-
package.
Yeah. And there you have supper,
Mm.
So an AEW match, like let's just okay, Rampage, for instance, right? Rampage, you get through the intro, you go to AEW Live, you're taped, but you know what I mean. Go to the ring. You already have two competitors in the ring, no entrance. They're there, ring the bell, and it's 9 times out of 10, it's a match they just threw together to put on the show. No story whatsoever. It's just you're seeing, okay, Vikingo and what's the other luchador? It looks like Rey Mysterio has the mask on.
Penta.
Commander.
What's the luchador that has the mask on? What kind of question is that?
No, gravity.
Deb, it's one of them. He's trying to point out one of those things, like it's like a double entendre. Like
yeah. What's that word for double entendre?
Double entendre.
Yeah. What's that word for suck my? Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
Yes, that's a chili pepper sauce.
Anyway,
you could have said it. There's no censorship here.
Well, yeah.
No.
Anyway,
children watching, believe me.
You get what I mean.
It's just doing this show.
The Penta and Commander match is there, no entrance. It's there. Ding, ring the bell. Yeah, you might have had a graphic the day before promoting it on Twitter, but that's it. No story, and that's what they do all the time. And I'm getting to the point to where, okay, take y'all behind the curtain. Last night, instead of watching Rampage, you know what I watched? Metal Mayhem.
I watched the
Metal
Impact
Mayhem
pay-per-view.
We watched Metal Mayhem and rocked out. Elder John, Ezra, and we were there. RA, we were jamming watching Metal Mayhem, and I had a blast doing that. And
even though half the playlist we had seen twice the week before.
Yeah, but still,
anyway,
still,
it was metal. Yes,
I would love to be having that much fun watching wrestling with my crew instead of watching these ready-made matches that just you're having a match for the sake of putting it on Rampage just to fill TV time rather than having a story that you're invested in. You want to see play out. You want to see what happens this week, to tune in next week to see what happens further on, like the Bloodline. You're not getting anything close to the Bloodline storyline in AEW, period.
Yeah.
No.
And you won't because there's nobody in AEW. Well, I'll take that back. There's nobody that's given the authority to do that, because there are plenty of people backstage right now that could do the same thing if given the mantle, if given the power to do it, they could. But no, it's left up to one guy, and he's just gonna put a match on for the sake of putting a match on.
I will say, along the lines of that, going back to the storyline that recently finished with Matt Hardy and Ethan Page, a lot of that stuff on their story they did by themselves. And Matt Hardy had even said in his podcast, we had to kind of take it upon ourselves to kind of do what we wanted to do to make the story good, because I believe he said the big machine wasn't behind us. So like they did, they had done a lot of stuff on Dark. They did a lot of stuff, and they took it upon themselves to try to make that story good. And even when they did the big filmed match at the Hardy compound, it had to be cut so much for TV time. And unfortunately, he said they didn't get to film everything that they wanted to film because of, I think, weather situation. But he said, he released the full video after the fact, because when it was shown on TV, a lot of it was cut out for time.
Yeah. Right.
Which, so again, that's just another thing. Like they had to take it upon themselves to try to make their story good, because they weren't given the time allotted to really be able to showcase on the show. So they had to do it on YouTube and on Dark.
Yeah. Speaking of Impact TNA, y'all mentioned there was a pay-per-view last night.
Yes, there was.
I know a couple of y'all watched it last night, so tell us about it.
Well, you're not one, so yes.
I know.
Sit and pay attention.
I know I didn't watch it. I admit I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Impact.
Trying to call me out on the red carpet? Trying to put me on the red carpet?
Yes, I am. What color is that carpet in that hotel room of yours? Don't turn around and look at the walls. Please don't turn around and look at the walls. That's an inside joke between us hosts.
Yes.
Maybe we'll explain later. Anyway, yes. Well, Impact was this past week was over in jolly old England, doing a tour over there, which culminated in the Turning Point pay-per-view, which was last night, which was actually taped at the Newcastle, England show. Excuse me, I had a brain fart for a second. Again, this is and I say it every time we mention Impact. If you're not watching Impact, you're wrong. You need to correct that. But this this was one of the Impact's lesser $10 on Fight TV. Yeah, lesser $10 pay-per-views that easily could have been a $40 pay-per-view. It was that good. Highlight of the entire night for me was the Will Ospreay Eddie Edwards match, and coming off of Bound for Glory, where you had Will Ospreay and Mike Bailey absolutely put a match of the year contender on overall. Overall, Eddie Edwards is and we discussed it pre-show, but absolutely, Eddie Edwards is like the Dolph Ziggler of Impact Wrestling.
People talk about pillars of a company. He's one of them.
That's Eddie. He's
been there since day one. There's a lot. There's quite a few there that have been there since day one. But
but Eddie can be plugged into any situation, last minute, whatever is going to go out and give you a great match. And yes, that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what him and Will Ospreay did. Will Ospreay had some comments after the match that will probably set the IWC and everything else on fire. Will Ospreay's New Japan contract in February, and he did in several things about where or what he might be doing. He talked about coming back to Impact or coming back to TNA because he wants to wrestle in TNA. He grew up, as you put it, as a 14-year-old boy watching TNA and AJ Styles. That's why he does the Styles Clash as one of his moves.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
And even upwards, I believe it might have been a day or so ago, there was a little exchange between him and Seth Rollins, Mike's favorite song, about possibly seeing a Seth Rollins Will Ospreay match somewhere. And then, of course, also he's been in AEW on a number of occasions and that. So basically, I know MJF might want to call himself the biggest free agent or whatever, but I have to say right now, the aerial assassin is, Will Ospreay literally has the entire world in front of him where he can work.
Mm-hmm. He definitely has options.
Yes.
And he's gonna. I've heard him talk in interviews that he's gonna thoroughly weigh his options and just see what's the best choice for him.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him. Just real quick. I'd love to see him kind of go, not the same kind of, but go the Matt Cardona route. Truly be a free agent and sign very short or limited contracts with them and show up in all different kinds of places. Now, the only place I know that won't work is WWE, but
right.
I'd love to see him just do that. Just let him go and wrestle, who he wants to wrestle, where he wants to wrestle, and all that. But
yeah, something that's reminded me of this Ospreay talk about being a free agent. Remember when AEW was first beginning and we were wondering where Kenny Omega was going to end up because Kenny Omega was a free agent at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of takes me back to that because the whole world was speculating about Kenny Omega and where he was going to end up. They thought he was going to go to WWE, and then he showed up on that press conference for AEW. I remember that press conference like it was yesterday when you had Jericho and the Bucks and Kenny Omega on there. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course you had I can't remember her name, the Smiley, the
Kylie Ray.
Kylie Ray, yeah. She was supposed to be the what do you call it, the face of women's wrestling for AEW, and then she had some stuff that she had to go take care of, and it just didn't work out that way. But
and we got the doctor.
Yeah. So I agree. Ospreay is definitely one of those talents. He's an elite talent. He is damn good in the ring. I mean, one of the best today. And I would love to see him in TNA because he would definitely elevate that whole locker room.
That would be a major signing for someone the new name and getting off of Access TV and signing a major TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
They need someone like that that's going to garner some attention.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Another thing from that night, from last night, John, was Gail Kim giving our Jersey girl Deanna Purrazzo a taste of eat defeat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not happy with how that match turned out, but
no.
What we're talking about is they had a match, knockout women's champion Trinity facing Deanna Purrazzo, my OG Jersey girl. The stipulation being if Trinity beat Deanna can no longer challenge for the Knockouts title while Trinity is champion. Special guest referee. I know, and I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again. We talked about how people should bottle Billy Gunn's sweat since that man's age and the condition he's in. They need to do They need to do the same for Gail Kim. That woman looks exactly the same way as she did 20 years ago when she quote unquote retired from wrestling. That woman does not age. She looked in there last night, even in a referee's outfit, that she literally could beat both of their asses any given time, anywhere.
For real.
Amazing how that woman looks.
She definitely looked better in a ref's outfit than Steven did. That's for sure.
True. We're looking at you, Aubrey Edwards. Take notes.
And John, like I said last night, Deanna Purrazzo's ring gear, she could have got out of the ring, win or lose, and just went right down, went to the Iron Maiden or Judas Priest concert right after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She would be right there, the next Metal Club.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and, speaking of Steven, he's at a concert right now in West Virginia. Is that where he's at? And
yes.
Tool. He's at a Tool concert,
How did
and
you
yeah,
how
how
do you
does
know
he?
it's just not someone playing a boombox in front of him? Just saying.
But
God.
he was just at a Dirty Honey concert a couple of days ago. So that boy, you know, you put
Gets
on a show.
around.
You put on a show. That boy is probably 75,
He'll get
80%.
there.
He's going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that boy loves
Wherever
his
there's a
live
good
music.
rock concert, he'll be
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. So yeah, he was wanting to go to Power Trip, that concert that was over, and I think it was in California.
Mhm.
But he couldn't make that. I mean, plus,
Yeah.
how could you with the tickets priced the way they were?
Oh,
I mean,
shit, yeah.
yeah,
That
that's
was
crazy.
And flights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
absolutely.
Did you guys see the picture of that? Like the crowd from behind the stage of Iron Maiden? It was an aerial shot.
No.
And they showed the crowd. It was a big crowd. Everyone seen it too. It was just like so many people there. But
Yeah.
you can go on YouTube and you could just see all the shows. Tool was unimpressive, I'll say that.
They could have put on the concert of their life, and you would have still said they were unimpressive.
Yeah, they're boring as fuck. AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, this one, that one, and then Tool.
Yeah.
Hater.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't been to a concert lately. I think the last concert I went to was Metallica and
Hershey.
Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Hershey.
Yeah, that was the last concert I've been to, and of course I went with Deb and Chad, who is, shout out to Chad. He is at Rhode Island Comic-Con right now. He took so behind the curtain again. All of us on screen went to Albany 2 months ago for Dave's Hall of Fame induction. August, yeah.
Yeah.
And we went for Dave's Hall of Fame induction, and Chad lives in Albany, of course. And I knew back in February or March that he was going to go. He let me know that he was going to be going to Rhode Island Comic-Con. Of course, he wanted me to go with him, but I just couldn't make it happen. But John Schneider, who is my hero, Sting and John Schneider are two of my heroes.
Good old boy.
Yeah, and of course, John Schneider played Bo Duke in Dukes of Hazzard, and he's also played Jonathan Kent in Smallville. And straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get them, but the law never will. Anyway, so
making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow.
I bet y'all didn't think that y'all were going to get karaoke by John tonight. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I brought my Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox, left the thermos at home, and I brought it to Chad's, along with the Smokey and the Bandit movie that I had, the original VHS that Jerry Reed, who played the Snowman, signed. And I was going to have Paul Williams sign it. Paul Williams played Little Enos Burdette in Smokey and the Bandit. But when they announced the prices, Paul Williams was, and rightly so, the man's a legend, but he was charging $100 an autograph. And I really wanted to, and I would love to meet Paul Williams someday, but I really wanted to maximize what I could with John Schneider, because John Schneider is just a hero of mine. So Chad,
well, he's a short. That guy should, he should charge by the inch. It should be cheaper,
or by the pound at least.
That man is short. But I am too. So, but anyway,
he's short of talent though. That was a short joke, but that guy ain't short of talent. That's for sure.
Right. No, that man's a legend. He's a legend. So anyway,
still sucks.
Chad is good at. He's good at autograph color.
Who does he think he is, man?
What?
Chad is good at picking out color for what would look good on an autograph on an 8x10 or because he has like a whole slew of paint pens, right? Paint pens is the way to go if you're going to cons. Paint pens are the way to go. You just make sure you got to prime them before you get up there.
Chad
And,
provided that paint pen
there
for
you go.
to sign his glass.
There you go.
Perfect.
If you're going to use a paint pen, you have to prime it. You get you a piece of paper and just start scribbling until the paint comes out. The stream comes out good. Then it's ready to go.
Arrives.
What did I change channels in here? When did we get the Home and Garden TV?
Well, shut up and listen.
Crafts show now.
Oh, okay. I did not see Arts and Crafts Time on the rundown.
You gotta put pressure on the paint pen.
I'll shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your producer didn't put that in there.
No.
And shake the paint pen. Shake it.
Yes.
Yeah, you got
to shake it like a Polaroid
sure
picture.
that the paint arrives out of the tip. It's got to arrive out of the tip.
Oh, so Elder.
Yes.
Elder.
If
you're
the
saying
paint
is
doesn't arrive, it can make a mess.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank God you took that.
That's your one time tonight that you killed Tony.
Okay.
I had to lob that softball in. I'm glad you crushed it 500 feet.
Yeah. So anyway.
Off the rails. Hey, we made it 4 this time. We made it almost an hour.
I hope Front Row didn't laugh.
Yeah, we're at 53 minutes now. We're good.
I hope Front Row didn't laugh himself over the side of the boat.
That would be very
I don't know. He's probably
over
had 10 glasses of wine so far tonight.
Yeah,
he's over there shaking his head right now. He's over there shaking his head. I guarantee you.
Oh, like if you didn't have the amount of free drinks on that boat that he did, you wouldn't be the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be taking all those drink tickets as well. You better believe it.
I'd be breaking into cabins to steal other people's.
That's why I'm trying to get Jackie on a cruise. She don't drink, man. I'll be having every day.
Anyway, continue, Tony. Sorry.
So anyway,
what were we talking
Chad
about?
has a slew of paint pens, right? So he knows what color to put, and I left it up to Chad. Chad decided, hey, silver would look good on that lunchbox, and I agreed. So he gets up there, and John Schneider took a liking to the paint pen, of course. And I've got a picture of him. My lunchbox is right there. And there's a picture of John Schneider looking at the pen. He just signed it, and he's looking at the pen, and he's admiring the pen. He's admiring Chad's paint pen.
He was good at stealing.
He wanted to steal it.
Well, and then I got an 8x10 from John Schneider, and he's signing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Chad, in all his wisdom, him and John are having a conversation. I wanted John to say to Tony, yeehaw, and his sign his name. And I spelt yeehaw, Yeehaw. And John Schneider tells Chad, he says, only rednecks spell yeehaw, Yeehaw. Yeehaa is how I spell it. And he laughed and he signed it that way. So whatever John Schneider says, whatever Bo Duke says goes in my book, right? Because he said it many times. Yeah. So anyway, John Schneider took a liking to Chad's paint pen. So Chad was like, hey, I'll give you this paint pen if you let me take a picture with you. And of course, there it is. There it is. So, yeah. So Chad from Albany, our good friend, our brother, I just want to say thank you for that. That made my day. When I saw that, when I saw those pictures, tears came to my eyes because John Schneider is that important to me, and I hope to get to meet him someday and get to thank him in person. So I really wish I could have been there at that convention. Chad's having an awesome time. And of course, our good friend AJ Moore is there. Shout out to AJ.
AJ. GUDFIT. Buy his artwork.
Yes.
Buy his artwork. He's very talented. So when we move into our new apartment, I'm going to have the freedom to be able to decorate the walls the way I want. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I have I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 drawings from AJ that the only ones I have up right now are the Sting and Darby ones. We didn't have the wall space here to put up any other ones. They're still sitting in the plastic.
Wait, no, Deb,
the plastic sleeves.
Spot. You have a blank
I know.
spot on
I
that
have
wall.
a blank spot here. That was my Mark Henry picture. Don't remind
No,
me.
I'm just saying.
And don't remind Tony. He's really neurotic over the blank spot on the wall.
I'm gonna make him sweat. I'm gonna make you sweat the last 10 minutes.
Tony's starting to itch.
All fidgety. Look at you. Come on, you need you fix or something? You fiending?
But yeah, I can't wait to finally be able to display all my AJ Moore artwork.
Yes.
Design the layout. It's gonna be so great.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it whenever you get it decorated. I can't wait to see it.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome.
Break out in the highs every time she looks at your wall. But yeah, AJ Moore is on Twitter and Instagram at GoodFit, GUD_FIT.
Great paint.
Yeah. He covers all genres. He covers wrestling, sports, TV, pop, anything. The guy is ridiculously talented.
Right?
Yeah.
The chain.
What?
He's not AJ Moore's the paint chain?
No, that's AC Moore.
Oh, sorry.
That's where I used to work. They're dead.
I
used to work at AC Moore.
Speaking of AJ Moore, he's working on a special painting for Chris. She wanted him to do a Dangerous Alliance one, and he's working on that. So I don't think he has it done yet, but
no.
But we've made friends with him because we see him all the time when we go to our conventions and stuff, and he's one of our crew. He's really good guy. That boy, he's got it together. I mean, on travel day, just seeing him, because when he arrives at the conventions, he's taking luggage after luggage after luggage because he has all his stuff in there, and he's having to travel with all that stuff. Can you imagine?
I couldn't. I couldn't.
With the way flights are nowadays, how stressful that is just to get somewhere, to get from point A to point B.
With all of his artwork and the extra sleeves and
having everything show up and not get lost. I mean, think about if they lose his luggage, he's screwed. So it's crazy.
Yeah. So support artists. That's the moral of the story. Is support artists, support talented people.
Yeah, and he is there is a pushback on. I know y'all have been seeing on social media and all that the AI stuff, all the artificial intelligence stuff, and all the pictures that are coming out with AI. Well, people like AJ, they're being affected by that because all you got to do is just plug and play on your computer, and you can make an AI image or whatever if you have the right program. Well, AJ is actually taking the time and drawing all this stuff and taking all that effort to paint and do what he's got to do to that. And so why do you want to cheat yourself and get something AI when you can get something that someone took hours to create?
Artists are being massively affected. And I've even heard stories of artists whose pictures of their stuff are online, like they see basically AI knockoffs of their signature style. So their stuff is quite literally being stolen by AI. And art is difficult enough to make a living off of it, and now they have to worry about basically computer programs stealing their business, and now they can't make money because people just create pictures through AI and don't care to actually pay an artist for something, don't care to pay the talented people to actually do it.
Yeah. Isn't there some sort of thing going on around on social media? Like if you post a picture on social media, like something you drew, like Sean, for instance, shout out to Sean, stuff that he's done, and he'll post it on Twitter, and then some spam page will come up and they'll have made a shirt it's not a
Oh
legit
yeah,
shirt
that's a
problem.
massive problem. There's all these like websites, you know, like that you see in Facebook ads or whatever for buying t-shirts with funny designs or sayings on them or whatever. And those are all bot created, and a lot of them are stolen from real creators.
Yes.
You know, because
That
because
happens
the bot technology scours the internet for images and what's popular. That's why, like, I know Front Row has said multiple times, like, never comment on someone's post saying I want a t-shirt on that, because immediately the bots on the internet will recognize that, and that'll be in your Facebook ads.
Yeah, that happened
and it'll be a scam.
Yep, that happened to the Renegade Twins. That happened to the Renegade Twins. They literally lost the rights to they had a set of t-shirts they were putting out. And again, shout out to my badass kids. Love you, Robin. Love you, Charlotte. They basically lost their t-shirt before they even had a chance to sell it. And it was a year just to get rid of all the places that the image of their t-shirt showed up as to be sold as a t-shirt.
Wow.
It was a year. They just got basically clear of all of it about 2-3 months ago. But it was a solid year of them trying to track down and find the origins of it and get it removed, to the point where I have one, but I there's probably not many of them actually in existence because of what they went through with all these bots popping up. And it was crazy. They would give me updates. We're like, we only got like 200 more to track down and find. I'm like, oh my, it was unbelievable what they went through. Now we're just waiting for the AEW shirt to drop, or the Ring of Honor shirt to drop, but still. But it's crazy how they do that. So see the people in person, buy their stuff from them directly.
Yes.
You know, and
if you see wrestlers at indie shows, at cons, buy their merch, because that's how a lot of them are surviving, making money, is merch sales. And you know, we've heard Cardona in interviews, and I spoke to him personally when I met him at BCW Arena at Icons, that, you know, one of the reasons why he has been so successful is merch. Sales of merch is a big reason why people can make a living doing wrestling and not have to have a day job.
Yeah. Well, you heard it there, folks. Speaking of Matt Cardona, he is killing it out there on the independent scene. But I'm so happy
he is
for
the
that
indie
guy.
god. He is the indie god. And his wife ain't doing too bad either. So
no, she's not. She's not doing bad at all. But anyway, I guess that's a good place to end it. We got Collision on now, so
we just got here. What do you mean? But never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Hey, Elda, Mongrovian. How can people find you on the socials? Yeah.
You can find me at Mongrovian Mike. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta work on that.
All right. Yeah. Hit lagged on him a little bit.
Yeah, you're not as good as Andre on the drops.
Yeah.
War games.
Hey, we get to bring that back again.
Yeah.
The 1.5 hour continuous loop on YouTube of William Regal saying War Games.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny boy, how can people find you on the socials?
Maybe I don't want to be found.
Fine.
Okay, fine.
But in case in case you are at Twisted Metal Fab, I don't do the thing like Deb does. At Twisted Metal Fab on the X or the Twitter, whatever you prefer. I'm old.
Yeah.
I prefer Twitter and the Instagram. And again, support indie hashtag support indie wrestlers and hashtag support indie wrestling. And also with the hashtag, since they both have it up, Nation's Corner on location. Always. Oh, look at Mike. Mark Henry's hand.
Oh my God! Stop it! It's Mark Henry's hand.
Well, as the hand just told you, Nation's Corner on location. Let us know where you're at, who you're seeing, what indie shows you're going to. You know, I'm still a little unable to. at this point, but we're fixing that. And all
Getting there.
you mother effers that are thinking you're going to come after my one-legged ass-kicking title, be warned. I will be equipped with carbon fiber. So, good luck. I dare you. Step to it. Please.
Step to you.
I beg you.
Oh, step to it.
Yes.
John, I'm gonna take everybody behind the curtain yet again.
Okay.
You said maybe you don't want to be found. Well, maybe that's why I can't tag you in any tweets, because for some reason I can't tag
Twitter's
you
broken.
like I used to be able to tag you.
It's
So-
up on your end. I checked all
No.
my stuff. It's unchanged.
It's not on his end. It's just Twitter.
Yeah,
F you,
It's
Elon Musk.
broken.
F
Because-
you, Elon Musk.
because it's
Yeah.
And
because
F you,
that's
Elon
why.
Musk.
That's why it's happening.
Okay.
Deb, how can people find you on the socials?
At That's So Debonair, right there on Twitter and Instagram. And my last thought is, if y'all haven't watched it, the Beatles have a new song.
Their last new song.
The last
It-
Beatles song ever. And
You are
shut up. It is one of the good sides of AI is that they were finally able to complete this song after so many years of attempting to complete this song, and the technology wasn't good enough to pull John's vocal track off of his original cassette tape. Technology is finally good enough. They were able to complete the song. So it is legitimately
Yoko do
all
it?
4 members of the Beatles on the track. It's not fake. It's not AI created. Just the AI technology helped assist them in being able to isolate John's vocal track.
Did they keep that screaming banshee Yoko away from it?
Stop it.
Well, speaking of Yoko, she's the one that gave the cassette tape to Paul and
Yes.
the rest of the Beatles to use the.
So
So I
I
guess she did something
implore
right.
all of you, even
Yeah.
if you're not a Beatles fan,
She's still fucking
go
doing
on
it.
their YouTube. There is a 12-minute video that's like a short film that's basically a making of, showing how they were able to put this together, showing footage at various times over the years of them in the studio and working on this song, and interviews and narratives from different people, and including Sean Lennon, which was kind of cool for me to hear him speak. So yeah, I implore you to watch the making of and watch the official music video. It's a new Beatles song. It's authentic Beatles, and it's the last Beatles song ever, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
And it made me cry.
just-
Hey, great. Next thing you know, we're gonna be able to see him like a hologram, like Tupac.
Yeah, in exchange for the tape,
Stop
Yoko got Paul to promise never to call her and see you next Tuesday anymore.
Stop it.
I hope he had his fingers crossed behind his back when he said that.
Oh, he definitely did. Because
Okay,
she is,
okay.
Anyways,
Anywho, Tony.
he's a warbling one.
Well, actually, she could fire right back at Paul and say, "Well, at least I still have both my legs." Just saying. I don't know if she'd go that way, but
Oh boy,
Uh,
Deb, you're supposed to control us.
fail.
oh, well, sometimes the feet is just too demanding. So yeah. But anyway, I am at Tony Justice AJFA. And if you are a Metallica fan, like I know all of us are, you know what that means. Ooh, ah.
Yeah.
And thank y'all for joining us tonight on Nature's Corner, and we will catch y'all on the flip.
Ooh.
Ooh.